What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am John, the creative blue-collar guy, and we've got another story here from Jason Isbell. If you watched a couple weeks ago, I had a video about him kind of talking down at Oliver Anthony's hit viral song Richmond North of Richmond, and I'm not here to continue picking on Isbell. I stated multiple times I'm not a fan of his, so I don't intend to keep making a lot of videos and a lot of topics about him. But sometimes once you click on an article, once your phone kind of starts developing an algorithm based on stuff that you're clicking on and stuff that you're reading, well, this one popped up, and it's kind of interesting. In the comments of my last video, again, with the topic of discussion was Jason Isbell and Oliver Anthony, I was actually kind of surprised. The majority of the comments were people either saying, who the hell is Jason Isbell? Never heard of him. Or, yeah, his music is trash. So I was actually surprised that a lot of people agreed with me because from what I see out there in the music world and on the interwebs is that he's very highly regarded. People think that he's a wonderful songwriter. People love his music. Again, this has nothing to do with his politics. Other than that last video I did of him talking about Oliver Anthony, I really don't know where he stands with his politics. Obviously, a lot of people are saying he's very liberal. Wouldn't surprise me. But this has nothing to do with his politics. I don't care. He's free to think and say and do whatever he wants. I don't listen to his music anyways, but I just think that his music is trash, and so I don't understand why... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why people love him, but whatever. I'm not necessarily trying to continue picking on the guy, but sometimes a story comes along that almost sort of validates a certain way I've already been feeling about someone. Anyways, really quick, before we get moving along here, to all of my wonderful 341 subscribers, thank you all so much for being here and for coming back. If you are new here, also, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. It's a very small, humble channel, still just trying to kind of get off the ground, but every subscriber helps, every like helps, every comment, everything, all of that. So if you are new here, please take a moment, hit that subscribe button, make sure to like this video, share it out there for others to see, and ring that bell for notifications. Make sure that bell is set to all. That way you get notified every time I put up a new video or when I go live. Live streams are still iffy. Mixtape Mondays, not really sure if it's working for my crowd right now. So also feel free to sound off in the comments. Let me know what you guys think, your thoughts about a live stream, what kind of topics you'd like to see covered. But that's still something I'm kind of getting off the ground. Right now, it seems like the short form videos are what's drawing people in. So I'll try to keep it short. I guess apparently Mr. Jason Isbell had plans to have Ryan Adams produce his award-winning Southeastern record, but because apparently this man is a little bit of an egomaniac, he believes the reason why Ryan Adams backed out of producing his record 10 years ago was because Ryan Adams was, quote, intimidated. Let's talk about that. Jason Isbell has shared why he thinks Ryan Adams backed out of producing his award-winning 2013 album, Southeastern. Speaking to Uncut, Isbell, who recently released his latest album, Weather Vanes, with his band, the 400 Unit, in June, says, quote, initially Ryan Adams was going to produce with Glenn Johns, who was in LA. I'd been talking to Ryan. I thought he had booked a studio, so I bought tickets for me and the band. We had all these plans. We were going to record direct to tape with Glenn helping out. I'll admit, I do think that's still pretty cool. Very few bands still do that. I know Tool is one of them, that they still record analog. Yeah, I'm sure the editing still gets dumped onto a computer and the editing is digital and everything's all streaming digital now and everything, but still just capturing the audio and analog. I actually do appreciate that. Then Glenn and Ryan had an argument, and Glenn went home. He continues on saying, I sent Ryan demos I'd made. These are on the re-release we're putting out in September, and all of a sudden he had something else to do. He couldn't find the time. At the time, I thought he didn't like the songs, but now I think it was the opposite. He was intimidated. Two things here. Already right off the bat, I mean, in the previous paragraph, he says that Ryan Adams had an argument with the other guy, Glenn Johns, whoever this is. I'm sorry, I don't know who that is, but They got into some kind of argument. So that could have been first and foremost. Like maybe that left a bad taste in his mouth where he's like, I don't want to work with this guy, or I don't want to be part of this project, or who knows what. But right there, an argument, I think that would sour somebody. But then, okay, this was after he sent him demos. He sent him demos, and then he said all of a sudden he had something else to do and couldn't find the time, and he thinks he was intimidated by his demos. I'm sorry, I don't really care who you are, if you actually really are the greatest songwriter in the world or whatever. Like, am I wrong? Am I wrong? Somebody please let me know in the comments. Like, is that not one of the most arrogant things you can possibly say, that you think you sent someone some demos? My monitor just disconnected again. So, I mean, you send someone some demos, and for whatever reason, whatever his excuse was, he comes back and says, oh, I can't do it, something came up, whatever. Your first thought is to say that, oh, I think he was intimidated. Maybe he didn't like the songs. Could that have actually really been a possibility? Mr. Jason Isbell, I'm so friggin' wonderful. Jeez, the ego on this guy. Ultimately, Dave Cobb, who he recently met, agreed to record the album at his home studio in Nashville. It took a couple of weeks. During that time, Isbell wrote Super 8 after Cobb said the album needed a, quote, boneheaded rock song. Well, maybe he needed a change from his boneheaded country songs. I swear, the guy, it's like he has dice with like the buzzwords on him and like rolls the dice, and it's like, oh god, cowboy boots. Okay, roll the dice again. Oh, okay, dirt road. Like, you just gotta fill in the in-between words after each one. He goes on to explain that his writing process was different with Southeastern, primarily because he began working on the album after he got sober. Okay, I can say, good on him for that. I'm not going to make fun of someone or knock anyone for feeling like they needed to stop drinking or get sober. I will say, though, that I don't think it helped his songwriting, because I think his music is trash anyways. But for him deciding he needed to get sober and doing it, good on him. He says, when I was writing before, I'd get up at noon, have coffee, aspirin, some liquor, start writing at 1, and then at 3 or 4, it was time to go to the bar. I mean, 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon is not unheard of. I mean, like, when I get off work, I'll go and have a beer or two after work or something. That's, I've worked all day, whatever. He said that he starts writing at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 or 4, he goes to the bar. Okay, yeah, I'm up and at work at 6 a.m. It's a little different, but I digress. With Southeastern, I was getting up, making a pot of coffee, working until it was done. That meant I had 12 great songs instead of 2. So again, he's going on to say that he's got great songs. And don't get me wrong, I think you should be proud of the work that you do, but just the whole thing is just the whole air of how he talks about himself and his music. And then, of course, how he talked about Oliver Anthony, that really bothered me, because it's like, who are you to judge this guy's music and saying, oh, I don't really like the message? It's like, well, then don't listen to it. Sorry about it. Not really, though. He finishes by explaining that he wanted sobriety to improve his work and to have his sober self competing with his drunk self to be the best songwriter. Well, I'm happy for you that you got sober, bro, but I can tell you your songwriting did not get any better, unfortunately. But again, no, and really, in all seriousness, I don't want to pick on the guy for that, but I just... This popped up on my phone the other day, and I just thought, okay, when I finally get some time, I got to get around to making another video about this. I hope that this is the last video I make about Jason Isbell, because again, I just don't care, but this was like, I don't know, just kind of like a follow-up to the Oliver Anthony thing, to just be like, yeah, maybe he really is jealous. Maybe he can't handle if someone writes a better song. Maybe he can't handle... I forget, in some of the comments on my last video, too, people were calling out other artists that he had kind of talked about, and God help me, I forget them off the top of my head. I'm not going to look them up right now, but I remember in the comments a few people were saying, oh yeah, when this person came out, Jason Isbell trashed him, and then this person came out and Jason trashed him. And so it just kind of seems like when someone else comes up or sees a little bit of success, I think maybe Jason's intimidated. Maybe he's the one that's intimidated. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. Again, I hope this is the last thing I have to talk about regarding Jason Isbell. And we can go back to good topics like Oliver Anthony and Tool and Coheed and Cambria and other stuff that I actually like. But this one was too funny to pass up. Sound off in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Again, as always, thank you so much for being here. To my returning viewers, to my new viewers, please hit that subscribe button. Make sure to like this video, share it out there. Ring that bell for notifications and make sure it is set to all so you get notified every time I put out a video and every time I go live. I'm John, the Creative Blue Collar Guy. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.